Well, hello, and here I am in the middle of my blog tour for my new novel, Dream of the Navigator, which is YA dystopian, and I have a print copy of it right here, and I just love picking it up because this is actually my first novel that I've had a matte finish cover. It's got that nice little rubbery kind of feel to it, so it's a lot of fun to pick up, and of course I always love print, even though, yes, I do have a Kindle and all that, but I do love the print versions. Well, I was asked by Jazzy Book Reviews, whose audience I am speaking to today, about the world that's in Dream of the Navigator. And so I want to give you just a brief overview on the world of the Technates that the main characters, Jalen, Caden, Salvador, and Haven are in the story. In the story, we don't have cities anymore. What we have are called Technates. They are run by technocrats, and those are the guys that are holding the highest power in that society. It's no longer your elected politicians. It leans more to these unelected technocrats. And so you would live, typically, if you're part of the mass populace, in these giant tenements. And I'm talking, these are soaring, 150 stories, 200 stories tall, like apartment complexes. And some have very closet-sized, almost closet-sized kind of rooms. Others are like very small apartments, but that's about it. No longer does anybody live in small towns or rural areas. And everything about the Technate is surveilled, monitored, and controlled. You no longer have like cars. Everything is driverless. So yes, there are drones and driverless vehicles on the ground. There's rail systems to get you around, but you wouldn't drive your own car. You also would be doing all of your transacting and things like that through a kind of a combination of what we call mixed reality technology, and that's what you see in like the Pokemon kind of game where you have something that's not in the physical world, but you see it, with the use of glasses or integrated with you or in contacts, and then you would go in and like make your purchases in places using that, but you don't have cash anymore in this world. It's all cashless, and it's all tied into implantable chips that are on you. And those chips also have all of your medical information. They are also able to be tracked. So the Technate system can tell wherever you are at a given point of the day. And so we also have the fact that all your appliances are run by this system. So you're only allowed a certain number of washes on if you have a washing machine, or if you have, as far as your energy usage, your water usage, all that is controlled within this greater system. Now, one of the cool things that you have is these fabricator kind of 3D printing devices that are in the home. So if you do need to come up with something like a fork at the last minute, or a little type of like house utensil, you can actually have that created for you right there on the spot. But the number of things that you can create in the fabricator are very limited, and definitely highly regulated by the Technate system. And so then the other thing is within that, I mean, it seems pretty choking and confining. So what's happened is people are very much driven into escapism, and so the main kind of pursuits of the society are they love to immerse into virtual reality. That's where most of the socializing takes place. Virtual clubs, virtual getaways, virtual like travel kind of destinations, because you no longer physically do that anymore, so it's all done in these virtual worlds. And similarly, going to a concert or a sporting event is also done often using the virtual technology, and it's very much the Technate system almost makes it very difficult to actually go live to any of these kind of events that you would go live to today. So definitely they try to encourage you to do everything within the virtual system. And unfortunately, there still are substances as far as drugs that are used for escapism within the society. It is mentioned in the first book, and will be coming out a little bit more in the future. But as far as that kind of escape is still present. And then we also have both rehabilitation centers and prisons for those that express dissent, and or those that are dissatisfied with this kind of world. So those are definitely one of the things you have to be careful about within a society is speaking your own mind. There's not virtually no independent media anymore. Everything is approved of by the Technate system, and so you wouldn't have anything other than pretty much the narrative of the ruling class. And that ruling class, however, has different rules. So you'll find out a lot about that in Book 1 when you actually get to see where they live, how they live, and the very different type of lifestyle that they get to enjoy. And I'm not talking about the 1%, I'm not even talking about the 0.1%, I'm talking about the 0.01%. This is truly the ruling class of this society. And so we do show that contrast very well in the novel. And so the Dream of the Navigator is the first step in the series, and you'll get to explore this near futuristic world, and you have a lot of other worlds to explore, but I'm not going to get into that because that's not the topic of this vlog. But let's just say there's some very fantastical worlds that you'll get to explore within the pages of this adventure. So thank you very, very much for joining me today on a little exploration of the world of Dream of the Navigator and the Faraway Saga. Thank you to Jazzy Book Reviews. Very good to be with you all, and definitely honored to be on the site. And definitely thank you for following along with this blog tour. And so check out the book, and I love hearing from readers, so let me know what you think. And I'll be back with a second book in this series in the not so distant future. So take care, everybody, and see you soon.